So we want to take this opportunity to come to you today and just give a press conference what we've encountered over the last few days here in Rome and Floyd County. As y'all are well aware, we have had multiple fires that's burned a lot of land and also endangered some structures. So on Sunday, the 23rd, we had two fires, one in Chulio Hills Estates. It did get close to some structure, but we were able to contain that one fairly easily. And then also on Sunday, the 23rd, we had a larger fire in our Murchie in the area of 156 and Floyd Springs Road. That fire burned approximately 200 acres and endangered 35 to 40 homes. We did have one outbuilding completely destroyed and another home received damage. And then yesterday, on Tuesday the 25th, we had a fire at Chulio at Mathis and also Norton at Chulio. Those fires, we do not have the exact acreage burned at this time, but we do know there was multiple fires in the area that were spot fires that were spread out that appear they may have been intentionally set. So that's kind of where we're at. Going back to Sunday's fires, we did have to call in for mutual aid. We had 12 of our units from Rome Floyd Fire Department on scene working to contain the fire. However, due to dry conditions and strong winds, the fire was more than we could handle. So we did call mutual aid and also Georgia Forestry. So we had mutual aid come in from Summerville, Georgia Fire Department, Gore Fire Department, Chattoogaville Fire Department, Gordon County Fire Department, Polk County Fire Department, and Cedartown Fire Department. We also received assistance from Georgia DNR, Georgia Forestry, and they provided support both on the ground and in the air. And then we did receive other additional assistance from Atrium EMS, Advent EMS, Floyd County PD, Floyd County Sheriff's Office, and assisting with evacuation of those 35 to 40 properties that were endangered. So it's been very busy for us. We've been very fortunate to be able to contain these fires and extinguish with low damage. We have not received any injuries or fatalities as a result of these fires. So that's kind of a brief overview of what we encountered the past 4 days. We'll open it up to questions if you have any at this time.
I know you guys were talking about some of the fires possibly being intentionally set. Can you walk us through each one and kind of what we know about how they started and the investigation?
We will. I'll bring Officer Bell up on the one from Sunday.
On Sunday's fire in our Murchie area, we did have an individual that set that fire intentionally. We do expect an arrest very soon on that. I have a copy of the report if you need that. I can get that to you today.
Do you think that these two are connected? Because you believe the ones from yesterday and the ones from Sunday are intentionally set. Do you think this is one person that you're looking for?
No.
Multiple people?
The one from the fire on Sunday is not going to be the same as the one from yesterday.
Your message to those who are intentionally setting fires or looking to do so, what would your message be to those watching?
Anybody that sees, whether it's somebody intentionally setting a fire with the intention of destroying property, or if you see someone setting a fire, to burn brush or something like that, it, doesn't have any bad intent, it's still really dangerous times to burn anything right now. Go ahead and call 911. We'll have either these guys will respond or we will. Just by the nature of how we work, we're probably more likely to have somebody close by at the moment and can get there first, and we'll deal with it as it comes. As soon as somebody can call and report it, we'll respond to it each time.
I guess I piggyback on your message that this is the most dangerous time for you guys right now with this red flag warning. Talk about the frustration of knowing that you have people intentionally setting fires when you are in prime time conditions where this could go and turn into a wildfire.
Right, and I think probably some of these guys can probably explain more about the conditions than I can and how that affects.
Yeah, we're currently dealing with, we're not in a drought, and I've said that. We're getting rainfall. We're dealing with some unusual high winds and more days that are red flag than normal for this time of year. I mean, this time of year we normally get wind naturally, but people just need to pay attention to the weather forecast before they set a fire. We still have a lot of dead brush from the winter, but we're getting unusually high winds in the afternoon with low humidity. Every day is not like that. Just pay attention to your weather forecast. As far as those intentionally setting fires, that's, it's hard to prove to start with, but it looked like yesterday the way they were so far off the road and in so many spot fires that almost somebody had to be intentionally setting them. Unfortunately, somebody willing to be malicious, it's hard to prevent, unless we can get them on camera or get an eyewitness. Unfortunately, you cannot stop hate in this world. I wish we could, but you cannot. And that's all that is basically somebody's trying to be malicious. And, when you get 25, 30 mile an hour winds, we're going to get busy at that time, unfortunately.
Can you just explain for people who don't know, what a red flag warning is and how those conditions can just cause even a small fire to become something much bigger?
Correct. Low humidity. Pay attention to the humidity levels. Right now, right before this started, we're sitting at about 42%. When you get a red flag warning, it's generally below 30% and higher winds. Usually 10 miles an hour plus can be a problem, but we're getting gusts up to 30 miles an hour, which is reported for today as well and yesterday. It's not a good day to burn today either. That does not mean that tomorrow won't be, but right now we're discouraging all burning the best we can. Just pay attention to the weather forecast before you decide to burn your brush at the house, and always get a permit. Get in touch with Georgia Forestry if you're in the county and get permission. Call our office, Rome and Floyd Fire Department, for the city. Of course, the city, you're very restricted on what you can burn. So 3x3 small yard debris is all you can burn in the city. So, but right now we're discouraging all burning just due to these high winds right now.
Chief, do you have the authority to establish a local burn ban as opposed to the state burn ban that's in effect from May to October?
I do. I absolutely do. But it's not necessary. It's just, I don't want to punish the entire county for a select few that unfortunately is not paying attention to the weather forecast. Yes, we're getting taxed, we're getting worked, but at the end of the day, every day is not like this. Every day is not like this, and it's due to the high winds and the low humidity is where we're at right now. But it's springtime, and that's normal. Like I said, the winds may be a little higher than normal, but for the most part, the weather we're experiencing is normal. It's just, there's good days to burn and there's not good days to burn.
Do you have suggestions for precautions people can take if they're out burning, if they decide to burn?
Yes, always don't leave it, stay with it, and always have a water supply available. If you cannot get water to the fire you're about to set, don't set it. And have some, if you're out in the pasture or whatever, make sure you have some heavy equipment around to plow around it. Plow your own brake around what you're going to burn.
Can you talk a little bit about, or I'm not sure if you might be able to, but actually fighting those fires, what were the conditions like? What was it like there, having to combat those fires? What was that like? Walk us through.
Well, actually, I'm going to defer that to my operations chief, if you don't mind. Chief Cleet Boney. He was boots on the ground.
Yeah, anytime you're fighting a wildland fire, they're fast moving, especially with the winds, and they're changing directions all the time. So, when you have start throwing structures into the mix with wildlands and stuff like that, that adds another element to it. So what we end up having to do is obviously protect the structures are our biggest and number one priority at that time. And what happens is you end up having fire trucks once you've protected that structure and the fire is burned up to that structure. Once that's clear, that fire's still moving on down to different places. So what we end up doing is we put fire units on all the structures that are in danger. As soon as that structure becomes safe again, that unit will move to another structure and start protecting it. A lot of resources are used, a lot of manpower is used. It's exhausting work, much harder than a regular structure fire that you traditionally fight. Any other questions?
Just to be clear, you said there's two separate people then. You think there's a suspect in the arson on Sunday and a suspect in the arson from yesterday?
Correct. The one from Sunday is not going to be someone that did anything yesterday.
And I know you said you could get us that report later, but are you able to share whatever details you have learned about just the circumstances surrounding Sunday's fire, how it started, what it was, if it was, intentionally set versus something that got out of control?
It was intentionally set, as far as whether there was an intent to do as much damage as there was, that is not completely clear. But it was an intentionally set fire.
And you have a person of interest that you're looking for?
Yes,
For that one, but not for yesterday?
that's correct.
Gotcha.
Are you asking for any kind of video surveillance from the public, and where can they send that to? For yesterday?
For yesterday, y'all talk.
Yeah, we are asking for the public if they saw anything suspicious or someone suspicious to call our office at 706-236-4500. And then you can also go to our website and submit comments there.
And my last question, just for clarification, were there any structures damaged Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were those numbers?
There was one outbuilding that was completely destroyed, and there was another single-family dwelling that exceeded extensive damage. Extensive damage.
I believe almost 200 acres.
Yesterday we had 200.
And Investigator Watley investigated
Yes.
the damage
So-
structure yesterday.
Yesterday, I was the investigator on the fire that happened at Chulio and Norton Road. They initially called me out there. Upon arrival to the scene, I did notice that there were several spot fires that had been set that were on the edge of the roadway that burnt back towards the woodline area that caused fires. And the way they were set made me believe that they were intentionally set, because they were not a continuous burn. You would have one fire that would burn, and then about 20, 30 yards down the road, there was another spot fire, and then about half a mile, there was another fire that created, and the wood fire that created the rest of the fire that burnt the pastures and everything. So there was about 4 or 5 of those spot fires that were set, which leads me to believe that these were intentionally set fires.
They were far enough off the road as well.
They were far enough off the road, yes, sir.